Hello. I hope my music is not too loud. What what is? Advaita made simple. Well, Advaita is already simple because it's no thing. You can't get more simple than nothing. It's already this. The message of Advaita Vedanta is not two, not even one, no thing. Nothing. Not nothing as a concept or nothing as a thing, but nothing, as in nothing. Nothing appearing as this, as everything. Emptiness, fullness, the absolute appearing as the relative. For no one. There isn't a self. This is what Advaita Vedanta says. There isn't an entity. There's no one inside the body. There's no one in control. Everything is free falling. But then again, falling implies movement. There's no movement either. There's no space or time, no chooser, no choice, no before, no after, not even now. All there is this. Whatever is appearing to happen, it's not actually happening. It's only an appearance for no one. So there's no one inside the appearance, and there's no one outside of the appearance who is aware of something separate called an appearance. There's simply this. And this is not a thing. There are no things. This is what Advaita Vedanta says. There's no separation because in order to have separation, you would need to have two things to begin with. Me, you, I, other, subject, object, and there are neither of these things. No things. The appearance of things, of course. If you feel like a separate self, if there is a sense of being a human being, of being a person, then of course you are here and now, and you are experiencing this world and some kind of a reality, and you are having relationships with all of these things, sometimes referred to as the 10,000 things, which is just another way of saying everything. So it's you and your relationship with everything. Now, of course, in reality, you're not really relating to everything in any moment. You're just relating to what is either inside of you, which are thoughts, apparently. You can't really actually find a location for thoughts, but apparently thoughts are appearing in the brain, created by the brain, perhaps, maybe not even. Or possibly there are feelings or emotions happening in the heart. There are sensations, perhaps warm, cold, tense, relaxed, awake, sleepy, all kinds of sensations. You might talk about having a certain state of mind. I feel happy, I feel excited, I feel eager to work, or I feel resistant. I am attracted to something, I'm repulsed by something. So as long as you feel like a human being, a person, an ego, a separate self, you will have relationships with everything else. But the message of Advaita Vedanta says that is all an illusion. Really, the illusion is the illusion of I. The sense that there is someone here, an entity, someone driving the bus. No one is driving the bus, and there's no bus. There's just this, which is nothing appearing as everything. So, Why would somebody listen to a video like this? Well, there's no benefit whatsoever. There's no meaning, there's no purpose, there's no goal, there's nothing to do, and there's nothing to achieve. And of course, there's no one who could do any of those things that I just mentioned. But again, this is also pointing to the fact that whatever happens is not because of you and your choice, because there isn't a you, there isn't a chooser. And if there aren't two things, then in reality, there isn't a choice. Coffee or tea? Coffee. It looks like you made a choice to have coffee, but that is the illusion, because there's only one thing, not even one thing, apparently happening. So there's only what is. And that is why I said in the description that this is Advaita made simple. There's just what is. This is it. Whether or not you feel like an ego or a separate self or not, this is what is apparently happening. So there's no need to control anything. There's no need to try to go anywhere or figure anything out or understand anything. All of that would just be duality, the story of me. The me apparently wants pleasure and doesn't want pain. The me wants to control things, for lack of a better word, wants to make sure that everything is basically in order and organized in order that it doesn't, again, suffer. The me doesn't want to suffer, but really by definition, the me kind of is suffering. One Zen master said, compared to your true nature, compared to what you really are, even happiness is suffering. Most people just want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. But all sensory pleasure, all objects that apparently give us pleasure, like a piece of cake or a nice cup of coffee or a sunset, all of this is temporary. Everything changes. Everything is always changing. And that is the only constant, really, right? Is that kind of change. Again, that's just the illusion of a dualistic experience. In reality, nothing is happening. And this is possibly why people like Ramana Maharshi was silent for 25 years. He was just immersed in the self, in the absolute. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Nothing outside of his body really meant much to him. It didn't really have value because he could see that it was just all empty. Everything was empty. And you could say the kingdom of heaven is within. He was already immersed in that bliss, in that love, in that unconditional love and unconditional freedom, which is really what this is. All there is unconditional love for no one, unconditional freedom for no one, on no one's terms. So the me really can't benefit from this at all. The me wants to, perhaps, wants to hear a message like this or Advaita Vedanta so that it can learn something and find another way to control reality, right? People talk a lot about manifestation. I will manifest what I want. Again, I want pleasure. I don't want pain. I want all of these objects that will apparently bring me great happiness and satisfaction. They may or they may not. And that's why I'm trying to learn something and trying to become better. Basically, the story of the me is about becoming better, right? I mean, it's even instilled in us. It's taught to us as children. You must do good in school. You should also always try to improve yourself, always try to become a better person, more. Even if this is good, there's always perhaps the opportunity or potential for something to be better. And so it's the carrot dangling in front of us. This is all a story, by the way. And we continue to chase after that carrot. Even, I mean, look, there are billionaires in the world who still seem like they're unhappy and still seem like they want more money. I mean, if I had $1 billion, I'm pretty sure I would be happy. I would pay off my debt and I would be free to travel and do whatever I want. Again, this is all a story. This is all what the me imagines the future would be like if it had everything that it wanted, let's say. But there are no guarantees, of course. Anything is possible. Anything can apparently happen. And everything apparently does happen. This is just gesticulating, talking for no one, and for no reason, no purpose, no meaning. So, again, there's no, if you look at the message of Advaita, there's no me that chose to sit at this computer today and speak these words. There's no me. It's just apparently happening for no reason. And no one's even watching at the moment. So we'll see. Maybe no one even sees the video. And that's fine, of course. It happens for whatever reason that it happens. You can always, in the story, try to look for cause and effect. But really, even in the story, it can be pretty easily seen that the reason anything happens is because of the 10,000 things that happened before it. I mean, me sitting here is a result of my mother and father, procreating, right? 54 years ago. So had they not procreated, I wouldn't be sitting here right now, apparently, in front of the computer talking to the apparent you. So anything is possible. The me, of course, will continue to seek, usually, as long as there's that me energy, which is a contracted energy. It wants that release. It wants union with God. It might do yoga or Tai Chi or pranayama or all kinds of spiritual practices. It might pray. It might invest itself into religion or philosophy or therapy or exercise or drugs or alcohol, any kind of an escape or an attempt, again, to have more pleasure and less pain. So that's all a story, of course. All of this is a story. In reality, what is being said by Advaita Vedanta is that nothing is happening. No thing. So it's possible that the me might hear that message and say, oh, okay, I can sit on my sofa and crack a beer and just chill out, nothing to do. Well, again, it's not up to you because there's not a you. You are being lived, we could say, by life, by the ultimate. So if life decides to sit you down on the sofa and have you watch TV and drink beer, well, then so be it. Again, that's a story. There's not something separate controlling you like a puppet. There's just what is apparently happening. But anything's possible. Or maybe somebody hears this message and says, you know what, I'm going to move to Thailand and become a monk, and I'm going to meditate, 5 hours, 8 hours a day until I realize that I don't exist. So anything is possible. And nothing is good. Nothing is bad. Nothing is right or wrong. That would all be in the story, again, of duality and polarity and opposites and things like that. There's just, again, what is appearing. And there's no one separate from what is appearing that would be judging this as good or bad. There's no duality. There's no judger. There's no judgment. There's just unconditional love. It's that freedom for this to be anything that it wants to be. Again, there's no wanting. There's no desire. But for this just to be as it is, basically. Look at the world. Look at the supposed world, the reality that we have. There is war and there is peace. There are people fighting. There are people protesting against fighting. There are people making lots of money. There are people that are poor, people that are indulging in wonderful food, people that are starving to death. It's beautiful and it's horrible and it's all the same. Even you can't say same or different because that implies two. But in the story, it's, let's say, the same no thing, the same divine energy that's just being expressed in innumerable ways. As a me, as a person, for sure, you probably have an opinion about what you see happening in the world. This is right. This is wrong. This shouldn't happen. This should happen, but it's not. And of course, that is just what is appearing to happen. No one is actually doing that. There's no one who is actually judging anything. But in the story, that's what it would look like. That's what it would feel like if you feel like the separate person who is judging or being judged, perhaps. Maybe you feel that people are judging you for whatever reason. It's all just in the story. Now, that being said, again, anything's possible. Just because this is being said that everything is a story, it doesn't mean that there won't be a reaction or a response to whatever happens in life. The message, though, is saying that no one is doing that responding. So if there is war, again, as I just said, there is protesting to that war, or there's an agreement of that war. Who knows? Anything is possible. If somebody comes at you and, they pull out a gun, you may all of a sudden do Bruce Lee, karate chop, and defend this body. Fight, flight, it doesn't really matter. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. The message is saying that there isn't a self that's doing the anything that is actually happening, or apparently happening, rather. So the body is hungry, the body will eat. The body is thirsty, the body will drink. The body is tired, the body will sleep. It's all very simple. If, and probably it wants to, if the body wants to have money so that it can, pay rent for its apartment or travel or do whatever it feels will bring it happiness, or even I want a life and I want to do these different things, probably that body will then go look for work, try to make money somehow, usually in the most simplest way. And that's what it will do. It will always try to make this, whatever this is, it will try to make it better. This is good. Maybe I'm at peace right now, but can I have more peace? Can I have more bliss, more love? Maybe I feel connected to God or spirit, but can I have more connection? Can I have more liberation, more enlightenment? As long as that separate me, contracted energy is there, it will want. It's just the nature of the illusory. It's a phantom self. It's not really there, but that illusory self that appears to be there, that contracted energy. It wants things to be better, to become better in the apparent future. And again, it's just that dance, that pain and pleasure dance. I want pleasure, I want pleasure, I want pleasure. Basically, if you ask everyone, nobody would maybe even think about it this way, but if you ask them every morning, sort of, what do you think about? In a way, there's a subtle, or maybe it's not subtle, maybe it's very gross, feeling or desire to have a good day, right? We don't maybe even think about that necessarily, like, I'm going to have a good day. Maybe we do. But there is a routine, there's a schedule, there is a system in place that basically will help us to get what we want, apparently. Again, this is all the story. But whether or not that's, getting up in the morning to do yoga or to chant kirtan, or to have hot water or tea or something like that, to visit friends, to go to work, to make that money, to be able to, buy a boat or go play golf, or maybe giving money to the poor makes you very happy. Maybe you're somebody who wants to work hard because you want to help people. So again, in the story, of course, we would look at, saints and sages and sadhus and people like that who are so helpful, and we would think, wow, they are amazing. They're above me. They're so selfless. They give, and aren't they wonderful? And probably they are in the story, right? But again, this message is saying that there's no one actually inside of them or inside of you that is doing something good or doing something bad, selfless or full of self. Selfless implies really that they have a self, but they're choosing not to follow that ego. I will deny my ego and I will do for others and things like that. This message is saying, not that actually. It's saying that there isn't a self, that there's never been a self, that always and already there's no self. Always and already there's no self. So, what to do? Nothing to do. Talking can happen. Questions and answers can happen. Everything does apparently happen. But again, no one is doing it. The other part of Advaita, so Advaita is no separation. Vedanta would be translated basically as end of seeking, or end of knowing, rather, sorry. So there's no more knowing, because again, there's no more duality. In order to have knowing, you need duality. I know this. Subject, knowing, object. I understand this. I know this. I understand these concepts now. I have clarity. I have something called clarity. That's all dualistic. And again, everything is fine. There's no judgment. Everything is neutral in that way. So there may be apparent understanding or clarity for the me, and that's fine. That's neither good or bad. But what this is saying is, when there's no self, when the realization of the fact that there isn't a self is there, then there's no one who is left over to know something. So it's not that if the energetic contraction apparently falls apart and then there's only this, that someone knows that. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows this right now. This is not coming from a place of knowing. This is nothing, apparently speaking. And that's a good place to end. Much love.